Hi everyone, I'm just waiting for everybody to connect. 3 no trumps, reached very simply. East, as you would expect, leads the Queen of Hearts, normal lead, and cashes 4 rounds of hearts. Declarer has to decide what to discard on the hearts, and Declarer is hoping to make 4 diamond tricks, maybe 4 club tricks and a spade. So Declarer throws a diamond from hand, keeping 4 diamonds in the dummy. And on the second heart, Declarer figures may as well throw a spade away and may as well throw a spade from dummy as well. This keeps the option of 4 diamond tricks, 4 club tricks and a spade trick, possibly a second spade trick, depending on how the play goes. But the spade comes through. We don't really want to finesse now when we've got a good chance of 9 tricks. So we win the ace. And the key to the hand here really is, how are we going to play the clubs? We know the hearts are 4-4, and it's very fortunate they were, because obviously if they were 5-3, we would have gone off quite quickly. And we have to decide who we're going to play for the Queen of Clubs. We could go either way. Now, you could just play on clubs and just decide to guess which way it is, and it would be 50-50. But a better chance, which is what Delphine did, is to cash the diamonds and see if we get any information. And as you can see, we find out very quickly something extremely interesting, which is that East started with 1 diamond and West started with 4 diamonds. And we know that East led a 4-card suit in hearts, so probably doesn't have a 5-card suit somewhere, because 1 no trump, 3 no trumps, they may have led their 5-card suit. So that tends to point to East being perhaps 4-4-1-4. I mean, they've led a 4-card suit. They haven't led some alternative 5-card suit. So it's beginning to look like East is 4-4-1-4, i.e. with 4 clubs. And as you can see, Delphine continued, threw the spade away. East threw a club, could have thrown a spade, and Delphine confidently got the clubs right. This is a relatively straightforward hand, but very nice nonetheless. Quite a few of the hands we're going to look at are going to be a little bit more complicated than this. Is everybody okay? I can see. Okay. Okay, so well done there, Delphine. Let's move on to another board. Okay, so on this deal, I didn't actually see at any tables playing this how I was hoping it would be played. So I'm just going to talk you through the thinking of this board as to how I would think on this board. North opens a heart, fairly normal. East passes. South raises to 2 hearts. Some of you may play that a little bit constructive. Some of you may play that very weak. It comes down to your system. Most people nowadays play 2 heart shows something like a good 6 to 9 or maybe 10. Generally speaking, West doubled. I think double is completely normal. You just want to compete the part score mainly, push the opponents up to 3 hearts, maybe make something. North has got a very nice hand, 6-4, spade sitting over the doubler. So I definitely think North should be thinking game. And North could bid game right away, or North could actually as well pass to try and see what East-West do to gather some more evidence. And that is a very reasonable way to go. But let's keep it simple, because tonight I want to look at how to think as declarer, and we're just going to bid 4 hearts. And everybody's going to pass. And a common lead, this happened at quite a lot of tables, is the 2 of clubs. If you're playing 3rd and 5th leads, that would be the normal lead. And as declarer, as North, already you should be thinking to yourself, okay, they've led the 2 of clubs. It's probably a 5-card suit, because if I know that the opponents are playing 3rd and 5th leads, the 2 shows an odd number, and it's much more likely that they've got 5 than 3, because if they've got 3, West would have 6. Now, at a lot of the tables that I looked at, as far as I could see, people who declared 4 hearts essentially quite early just basically guessed hearts. Whereas if I was declarer, I would be thinking to myself, well, I've got a club loser, I've got a diamond loser, I've got a spade loser, and I need to get the hearts right. And I'm not entirely sure. I mean, West has made a takeout double. Perhaps West has got a singleton heart. So I don't think this hand is actually so easy as it looked at some tables. So trick 1 is not a huge decision. You could just put the queen up or the jack of clubs up. I quite like playing small because West doesn't always have the 10 and may put the ace or the king up and give you a roughing finesse position. On this occasion, it doesn't work. At this point, most tables switch to a spade. Now, as declarer, I would be thinking, I'm going to finesse this spade, obviously. But what I quite like to do, rather than run it round to the 9 and give information to the defence, I actually would put the jack of spades in, just because it conceals a bit more about my hand. Not a big deal, but this is just the way that I think about it. So that loses to the king. And as declarer, already we're trying to build a picture of the opponent's hands. It looks like West started with 4 clubs and he started with 5. It looks like West probably started with 4 spades and he started with 3. West made a takeout double. And if we can get an idea of the diamond distribution, then we'll know the heart distribution. So East plays back a club and we win the king. Okay, so I've just got a question, how to play on a diamond lead, which is what I received, no reason to guess the trumps right. It could be very difficult indeed. I mean, if you get a diamond lead and you can't get a count on the clubs, then this could be a very difficult hand to get the hearts right. And you might, if you can't get a read on the distribution, you might just play hearts from the top on the grounds that hearts being 2-2 sort of makes everything else easier. So here we go. So we rough the club. And so now we've got to a critical moment on the hand where we think we know the club and the spade count, or we've got a good indication, and we'd like to know what is going on in diamonds. And as a detective, I want to find out information. I want to ask some questions. I want to see what's going on. I don't just want to play on hearts and hope that I guess the suit right. So what I would do is I would play a diamond out of hand. It's just a discovery play. Maybe something happens that makes it very obvious to me what the diamond situation is. And maybe it doesn't, but then I'm no worse off. I can play hearts from the top, for example, like a lot of tables did. And let's say we're playing against people who are playing upside down carding. So they play high-low, shows an odd number. And they're honest people. We know they're honest because we've seen them be honest on all of the other hands that we've played them. And let's say they play the 8 of diamonds, giving reverse count. And that loses to the king. And say they continue clubs. And so we play the ace of diamonds, continuing our plan, and it continues low. So what have we found out? So we found out that East has played high-low in diamonds. Now, very, very few people who are playing reverse count are going to give false count with a doubleton diamond because just isn't how most human beings think. I mean, it might be if you're playing against, one of the absolute best players in the world. Most human beings do not think that deeply. So I would say that you could be fairly confident at this point that the diamonds are 3-3 based on the count signal. You can be fairly confident that the clubs are 5-4. There's the 2 of clubs lead, and it really does look like they're 5-4 if we're playing 3rd and 5th. The spades are very likely 4-3 because of the bidding. And if that is the case, we now believe West to be 4-2-3-4. And from that point, there's lots of things we can do. I mean, we can wrap this up quite easily. We could, for example, just rough a spade. I mean, this is actually a way of double checking. Now we're virtually certain the spades are 4-3 because the queen has not appeared. A very, very clever West, of course, should drop the queen here to make us think that they've got 3 spades, perhaps. So here we feel confident we can ruff a diamond. And now we're basically certain of the distribution. And we draw trumps ending in the dummy. And we make our 4 hearts. And the diamonds are good. So just going back to the start of that deal. So the idea on this hand was just really how to think as declarer, and that's how I would be thinking as declarer. Is about the distribution of the clubs. What is the distribution of the spades? And can I get a read on the distribution of the diamonds? And to do that, I'm going to play a diamond from hand and see if they do something to give it away for me. And the great thing about that is as well, the defense may not realize that that's your intention. It looks like you're just maybe playing on diamonds to set the suit up. And we've slightly misled them about the spades by putting the jack in as well, so that when it goes king and low, West doesn't know how good our spades are. Whereas, note, had we played the 3 of spades from hand at trick 2 and it had gone the king, West would know that we had the ace, the jack, the 10 of spades, and so might be able to work out better how to defend the hand. Okay, so this is probably my favorite hand of the evening. So let's have a little look at the auction here. So pretty straightforward auction, and I'm not really focusing on auctions. Hello, Dahlia. Hello. Okay, glad that you're here. So you were the only person who played this hand, I think, correctly. So we get to 6 spades after a weak 2 in hearts. I'm not going to talk about the auction. And we get the 4 of hearts lead. So let's just complete the auction. And we have to decide how we're going to play the hand. So the problem on this hand is it looks like we have 2 heart losers because we know that the king jack of hearts are over the queen. We also know South has shown a 6-card heart suit. Even if it could conceivably be 5, we know it's 6 because of the 4 of hearts lead, and South has played the 2. We certainly do at this table. So we know the hearts were 6-1 originally, and it looks like we've got 2 heart losers. We may have a club loser, but we really can't worry about that. We have to assume that the club is onside. And how are we going to avoid losing 2 heart tricks? A possibility is to take the diamond finesse, but I believe there is something much better that can be done, and Dahlia spotted it. So if we follow through the play, so she came to hand in spades, and she drew another spade, discovering that the spades were 2-2, which is good news, actually, and you'll see why. She played a diamond to the ace. Could have maybe waited on diamonds, but okay. She had a plan. Club to the queen, necessary. Ace of clubs, and now South shows out. So what do we know? We know South had 1 club, 6 hearts, 2 spades, 4 diamonds. So we're always keeping account. We're always keeping that evidence. And then we play another club. And we rough it. And at this point, I think Dahlia was very confident because she could rough a diamond. And can anybody see now what declarer can do to make the hand? Absolutely. There you all go. A club, throwing a heart, and North is end played. And actually, you know, there was nothing North-South could do, and it is the indicated play. It's very likely that North will have to win the 4th club. When spades are 2-2, it makes the elimination quite easy. It's possible you could have played on clubs earlier and retained the possibility of the diamond finesse if the clubs were unexpectedly perhaps 4 with South. But nonetheless, this was an absolutely beautifully played hand. It's really nice to be able to demonstrate this from the perspective of something that happened at the table. So well done. And then we'll just show the rough and discard. And there we go. Okay, so beautifully done. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to another board. Okay, so this is a pretty complicated hand. Is it still possible if they don't? Okay, so we've got a question on the last board. Is it possible if they don't bid 2 hearts? Probably not. I mean, if you had an uncontested auction to 6 spades, you would probably go down. But this is the beauty of bridge. What I'm talking about is being a detective. You gather all of the evidence and you draw a conclusion from it. And sometimes there's evidence is very rich. People have left DNA, people have left fingerprints, there's witness statements, there's video evidence, and you can build up what we call a completely double dummy view of what's going on. Sometimes there's limited evidence or very little or even partial evidence, and you have to make an educated guess based on what you know. But there normally is a lot of evidence. Would I open 2 hearts with those 4 points? I would open at least 2 hearts. I might open 3 hearts, definitely, because it's 6-4 distribution and it was favorable vulnerability. So it's very important to get involved with a hand like that. Okay, so this is actually a very complicated board that I'm going to take a look at. And unfortunately, as far as I could see, none of the tables spotted or needed to spot the play on this hand that I was hoping would occur. So let's have a look. North opens a heart. That's very normal. East has to decide what to do. Probably a bit heavy for 2 clubs. Very powerful hand. So most Easts generally doubled. South passed. They didn't have anything. West bid 1 no trump. North, nice 5-5 hand with a void, bids 2 diamonds. And East tries 3 no trumps. All seems fairly reasonable. North has to decide what to lead. So because I want to talk about how to think as declare on this hand, I'm just going to simplify a bit by leading the ace of diamonds. Most tables led the queen of diamonds, but it could transpose if declare ducked trick 1 and a diamonds continued at trick 2. So I'm just going to simplify because the point on this deal to demonstrate isn't really relevant to what happens at trick 1. So at trick 2, a diamond is continued. East wins the king. And South has to discard something. Now let's say that South lazily looks at the dummy and thinks, well, I don't need all of my clubs. Whether I've got 5 clubs or 4 clubs doesn't really matter because it's one stopper either way. And I don't really want to throw a spade away just because I feel like I shouldn't. I want to keep both of my hearts. Let's say South slightly carelessly throws away a club. Let's call it a high club, discouraging if you're playing upside down. And what should West think now? Declare it is West. What should West think now? So West has got a diamond trick. If there are 6 club tricks, the hand is going to be easy because we've got 6 club tricks and we've got 3 aces is 9 tricks. If the clubs don't break, then we've got a problem because we've only got 8 tricks. We've got 5 club tricks and 3 aces, and North is threatening to get an in hearts before we can set up a 9th. And so the next thing that we're thinking as West is, does it look like there's a good chance clubs are not breaking? So we say to ourselves, well, North has bid 2 suits and appears to have at least 10, well, we know has at least 10 cards in 2 suits. So that's already makes it less likely clubs break. And then we say to ourselves, South has thrown a club away. What hand could they have? We know they've got at most 2 hearts and 1 diamond. If that club, it can't be from Jack to 4 because they would never throw a club away. Could they have thrown a club away from 3 small? Well, that would give them 7 spades. So we think to ourselves, what can their club holding be where they throw a club away, they don't bid one spade, they don't throw a spade away. And the more you think about it, you think to yourself, South must have 5 clubs. So is there something we can do about it? Now, if you play clubs from the top, so you play the ace of clubs and you see North show out, and you, for example, play the 10 of clubs on the next round and South plays the jack. So let's demonstrate it. So let's say we play the ace of clubs and North throws away an encouraging heart, shall we say. And let's say we play the 10 of clubs now to give up the club. And North throws another encouraging heart. And South switches to a heart. And at this point, we are dead. We have to rise with the ace of hearts. We're in hand. The only thing we can do is cross to the ace of spades. And what else can we do? To cash our clubs. And all we can do is cash our clubs. The last 3 tricks is... Now look, someone has actually pointed out how we make this. Anne has pointed out, thank you, what you actually have to do on this hand, to make this hand, is you actually have to play the 10 of clubs on the first round of the suit. Now look at the difference. North throws a heart away. Okay. South switches to a heart. We win the ace. Okay. But now notice the difference. We don't have to cross the dummy in spades. We can cross the dummy in clubs. So North throws a heart away. So we keep going. And we throw, doesn't matter that much. North can throw another heart away. So we keep going. Can throw a heart. North can throw a spade away. Keep going. South's not that relevant here. And now North is can't throw a heart away, can't throw a spade away because the king would drop, so has to throw a diamond away. And on the last one, North cannot throw anything away. Can't throw a spade, throws away a diamond, and we just exit with a heart. And North is end played. And as we can see, has to play away. Now, Carol has pointed out something very sharp. So if you look at this hand with Gibb, you will actually see that when South threw a club, not only did it give declarer information, it actually let the contract through, because had South not thrown a club away, when declarer plays the 10 of clubs, South could actually defeat the contract by ducking. I did warn you that there were going to be some complicated hands this evening. Lest you think that playing the 10 of clubs from dummy is fantasy, it happened exactly as that at the table. It's a real hand, and it really happened like that. The 8 of clubs was discarded, and declarer did play the 10 of clubs and make that. So you really can, you should always stop and think, especially when you find a very surprising piece of evidence. You have to stop and think, what is going on here? You know, and very often, if you do that, you will draw the right conclusion. So thanks for the comments and well spotted. Who was declarer? I'll tell you later. Right. So this is another very interesting hand, and there was a wide range of results on this hand, and none of the tables really that I could pick had something I wanted to show. So I wanted to talk about playing this hand in 7 hearts, because again, this happened in real life, and how one should think and how one should play the hand. So let's say we get to 7 hearts. It's not really about the bidding, so excuse the ugly auction. I'm just going to bid 7 hearts because I want to demonstrate. I want to talk about the play. And let's say North leads the Jack of clubs. And let's talk about how to think in 7 hearts. So if you're declaring 7 hearts, you have a look to see if it's cold. You count your tricks. It looks like you've got 5 heart tricks. It looks like you've got 3 club tricks is 8. a spade is 9, 2 diamonds is 11, and it looks like we got a bit of a problem. We're going to need the diamond finesse. So at this stage, it just looks like we need the diamond finesse. Okay. So at this stage, it looks like it's a bit of a dodgy contract, but at least it's probably not that complicated. A good detective always looks for pitfalls, for things that can go wrong. And notice here in this trump suit, this is a classic safety play position. We can pick up potentially 4 hearts with south. We can never pick up 4 hearts with north. So it's very, very important on a hand like this that you do not lay down the ace or queen of hearts. That would be a mistake. So it's vital at this stage that we play a small heart. And this is kind of a forced play. We have to play a small heart. We've got the entries to pick hearts up if they're 4 with south. So we must not make the mistake of laying down the ace or the queen of hearts. So we play a heart, and we're very pleased that we started hearts that way, that we were careful. So we're now thinking, okay, I've got the 5 heart tricks, and I've got the 3 club tricks is 8, and I've got the 2 diamonds and the spade is 11. The problem is now the diamond finesse might not be enough, because in our original plan, we were thinking we could maybe rough a diamond in dummy if they broke badly. Now we've got to draw all the trumps because they're 4-0. And if diamonds break badly, the diamond finesse may not be enough. I mean, we can see, obviously, looking at the deal, that diamonds do break badly. So let's have a look at what we can do about that. So 2 of hearts, 10, queen. North throws, say, a spade away. And as declarer, we need to take the diamond finesse, so we might as well take it now. And we need the entries to dummy. And we play another heart. And we finesse. And we draw the last trump. And at this point, things look quite good, because if diamonds break, we're home. But it doesn't look especially promising. Well, it looks less likely than it might normally that diamonds break, simply because north doesn't have any hearts. So that increases the chances that they've got 4 diamonds. We don't know that, but they might have, and that's a bit of a concern. So sorry, just getting distracted by the messages there. So what we do in this position is we think, well, I might as well cash another heart, because that something good might happen. I don't want to throw a club away. I don't want to throw a diamond away, so I'm going to throw a spade away. And then my plan here is that I'm making it if the diamonds are coming in, but I can also make it if north started with 4 diamonds and the king of spades, because I will have a squeeze when I cash the clubs. If you can't follow exactly what I'm saying, watch how it operates. So we cash the spade. We play a diamond. We're hoping they break. Oh dear, they don't. But there's no big problem, because when we cash the last club, north can't discard a spade because our spade is good, can't throw a diamond because our diamonds are good, and we make our grand slam. And there we go. Okay, I hope you're all able to follow that. So I came across this very nice play, and there may have been other tables that played it like this, but I've selected this one from Orla Mukenti, so well done. And I thought it had some instructive points to it. So the auction at this table was 1 spade, aggressive 5 diamonds from Saskia. I don't mind that. Favorable vulnerability. It's on the aggressive side, but okay, put pressure on the opponents. South doubled, which is just showing points at this level. It just says I've got too much to pass, and it's very guessy. West pass. North doesn't really know what to do, but has 6 very good spades, distributional hand, and North tried 5 spades. All very reasonable bidding. And it's all about the play. And East led the King of Diamonds. And before I click on the trick, because I think it will play the whole trick out, let's just think about the hand in general. So as declarer as North, we've got 6 spade tricks, 3 clubs is 9. It looks like we've got the Ace of Diamonds is 10. And if the King of Hearts, or we've got a second heart trick, comes in, is 11. Or if we can do something in clubs, we might get to 11. So as declarer on the King of Diamonds lead, it looks very, very natural to win, quote unquote, the Ace of Diamonds. But actually, when there's been a 5 diamond overcall and there aren't many high cards missing, it does look quite likely that the diamonds are 8-0. So it might actually be best, and it would be an incredibly brave play, to duck the Ace of Diamonds at trick 1, so that it looks weird, but we actually can score the Ace of Diamonds later. And if the King of Hearts is on side, we can make 6 spades, 2 hearts, and 3 clubs is 11. And actually, to make the hand by force, you do need to duck trick 1. Somebody can't see the board. Okay, thank you, Shireen. So to make this hand legitimately, you do actually need to duck trick 1. I don't think anybody did that. If you did, please message in the chat. But I don't think anybody did that. So the Ace of Diamonds was won at trick 1. And now, technically, North has gone down because there are only 6 spade tricks. We don't have a diamond trick, and we've got 3 club tricks, it's 9, and a heart is 10. I'm sorry. Somebody did duck the King of Diamonds at trick 1. So Janine Benz did. Did you make 5 spades after that? Were you in 5 spades? 4 plus 1. Okay. All right. Well, very, very nice. So somebody in 4 did duck the Ace of Diamonds at trick 1. That's a really, really nice play. Well done. So, but it's a very difficult play to find. And at this table, declare rose with the Ace of Diamonds. Okay. And it got roughed. And things are not looking great. Now, technically, what West needs to do at trick 2 is not much. Maybe play a spade, just get off lead. But West made a tiny mistake, and this happened at most tables. It's very difficult to see why. West played the Ace of Hearts. And that went 9 small. West was hoping to give partner a heart ruff or put partner in with the King of Hearts. I have every sympathy with this play. It's very hard to see why this could be a problem. And it went 3 King Queen. So Orla, declarer, she says, I've got 6 spade tricks, 3 clubs is 9, a heart is 10. I need 1 more. Looks like West has got 4 hearts because East played the Queen on the second round. And we know East has 8 diamonds. So we're placing East with 2 hearts and 8 diamonds. Let's cash a couple of spades and see what happens. Okay, so we now got where it looks like East, when they show out, has got one spade, 2 hearts, 8 diamonds, and 2 clubs, which means that West is guarding the hearts and West is guarding the clubs. And when one hand is guarding 2 things, there's a good chance we have a squeeze. So let's have a look at what happened. And it was very straightforward, like this. And the last spade was played, throwing a heart from dummy. West threw the Jack of Hearts, but Orla was wide awake and very quickly cashed the 8 of Hearts for the 11th trick, which was really, really nice. And it was really good to see a squeeze in play. So well done, Orla. So I'm just looking at a question about the bid on this board. 1 spade, 4 diamonds, 4 no trumps. Does this mean aces or playing 4 no trumps? So I've got a question from Kalanet. 1 spade, 4 diamonds, 4 no trumps. Does this mean aces or playing 4 no trump? You have to agree it with your partner. I would say playing it as natural is very unusual. I play it as Blackwood, but you could maybe play it as takeout for hearts and clubs, which is a bit weird. So you might double with that hand. So for me, it would just be Blackwood, Roman key card Blackwood. So I'm just going to look back because Sonia Mark, 1 spade, 4 diamonds. Sonia Mark asks, okay, this is a really good question. What should happen after 1 spade, 4 diamonds? What should South bid? Whew, that is very problematic. South probably has to double and hope for the best. And if partner bids 4 hearts, South probably has to bid 4 spades and hope that the 5-2 fit is okay. At if the vulnerability was reversed so that East-West were vulnerable and North-South not, South might even pass. That sounds really weird, but you'll probably get, if it goes all pass, you'll probably get, a couple of hundred at least, and you might lose 6 imps against your game. And if partner doubles, I guess you can leave it in. And partner normally will double with a single diamond. But this is a really difficult bidding problem. So I've got another question about board 15. Okay, we'll come to the question about board 15 in a moment. I just want to look at one more hand. And again, I'm going to share. Let's see if I can share this. No, I'm going to share the whole deal because I don't have the confidence to share it from South's perspective. Sorry, Shireen. Okay. So this happened at a few tables. So I'm just, again, I'm going to basically look at what I think might have happened as opposed to picking out a table because there was no ideal table. So East open a heart, South could bid 1 spade, South could bid 4 spades, South could double. I don't know. I prefer double, but 1 spade is okay. I don't particularly like 4 spades, but it could certainly work. West bids 2 hearts, or maybe some people might bid 2 diamonds as a transfer to hearts to show a good raise. North might bid, but let's say North passes, and let's say that East passes, and let's say South bids 2 spades, West passes, and North bids 4 spades. So we have to play 4 spades. And West leads the Queen of Diamonds. As declarer, we have to think, how are we going to play this hand? It looks like we've got a diamond loser, a heart loser, and in a big danger of losing 2 club tricks. We've got Jack 10, not very good pips to 5 clubs, opposite King to 3. There are not many club positions where we've only got 1 club loser. I mean, Ace Queen Doubleton on side, for example, or 9-8 Doubleton on the left. So we're going to need to find a way of only losing 1 club trick. There's no point in covering the King of Diamonds. I did see that happen at 1 or 2 tables, but it doesn't seem possible that West has underled the Ace of Diamonds, so we might as well duck. Maybe East has got a singleton or a doubleton ace and we can rough it down. So West ducks, and let's say East does something passive. A lot of tables switch to the Ace of Clubs, and that made Declarer's task easier. If so, I've been asked if South did overcall 1 spade and West bid 2 hearts and North bid 2 spades, what now? I guess you bid 4 spades at South. I mean, if partner raises you to 2 spades, you just hope. I mean, if partner has a doubleton heart and the Queen Jack of Clubs, then you belong in 4 spades probably, and that's very little. So I guess you try 4 spades with South. There's not really any point in making a game try because there's so many hands which will be good for game, and it's very hard for partner to know which one is good. So let's say West switches to a spade. And the plan on this hand really is to try and rough down the diamond. And if that fails, to hope for something like Ace Queen Doubleton club on side. To rough down the diamond, we will need to be able to be in dummy once to rough the diamond down, and again to cash the King of Diamonds. And it'll probably need spades 2. Well, it'll certainly need spades 2-2. In order to achieve that, because otherwise the King of Diamonds is going to get roughed. So let's say we win this in hand. And we play a heart, because why not? We need to rough a heart in the dummy anyway. And let's say East plays back a spade. And let's say we play the 7. We probably don't need to, but just as good general technique to unblock a bit, keep the 2 of spades, keep fluidity between the hands. And we're in dummy, and this is the point where we can try roughing a diamond down, and if that doesn't bring down the ace, we'll need our lucky club position later. On this occasion, it does bring down the ace. Good news. So we've got the king of diamonds to throw a club away. So now if we can guess the clubs, we're home. So let's try and get as much evidence as we can. The reason for cashing, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. The reason for cashing the king of hearts is that when I ruff a heart, sometimes the jack might appear on my left, and I've found out another card in West's hand, and it might help me make my decision. So we cash the king of diamonds. And now we have to decide, we've got our club away, so all we've got to do now is get the club right. So we go back to what has happened on the hand. What have we seen? We know East opened the bidding. East has shown up with 2 small spades. It looks like the hearts are 6-3 because West only bid 2 hearts, and a lot of people jump to 3 hearts when they have 4-card support. So it looks like East has got ace-jack 2-6 hearts. We know East started with ace double from diamond, and therefore it looks like their clubs are either queen to 3 or ace to 3, and we have to decide which one it is. And East passed over 2 hearts. They might have made a game try with 3 aces and a 6-card suit, or they might have at least bid 3 hearts. Also, West bid 2 hearts vulnerable. Maybe they wouldn't bid 2 hearts with 3 small hearts and only 5 points, queen jack 10 to 6 diamonds and the queen of clubs. So it's kind of a guess. We don't have anything certain, but we're beginning to think that it's pointing towards East having the queen of clubs and West having the ace, based on everything that we know. So we close our eyes and we get the clubs right and we make the hand. There's also something else that I would like to talk to you about. The EBL, the European Bridge League, who runs these things, are hosting a women's team online championships on Real Bridge at the beginning of June. So it's June 7th to 9th. And it really would be a great opportunity for all of you to gain international experience for what it's like in playing in a real championship. And it's very reasonably priced. It's really important for the Women's Committee that this event is a success so that events like this can continue to be organized. And it would be really appreciated if you could mention this to your friends and other people who you think would like to come. And you can find out more information about this on the on your women's coordinators and on our website. So I think this is a very reasonable way for this auction to go, but there's obviously many possibilities in bridge. So 1 diamond by West, 1 spade by North, negative double by East. I think 4 diamonds by South as a splinter is a very reasonable way to bid. I think West would bid 5 diamonds, and I think North might well bid 5 spades. A splinter should be a very serious bid, because North has got nothing in diamonds and has got very, very good cards in the blacks, and everybody passes. I could see the auction going in other ways, but I think this is a very reasonable way for it to go. So I hope that helps. And on that note, I am going to say thanks again for coming, and I hope that I was reasonably clear. Some people play limited splinter bids. They apply when you overcall. I mean, South's a passed hand here, so it's definitely limited. For me, a splinter opposite an overcall is not limited, no. I mean, it just says I have a serious hand, and I can stand you going to the 5 level if you don't have anything in this suit, and they bid. And it also brings in the possibility of a slam as well, and it's not limited. Okay, thank you for all the kind words and thank yous, and good night, everybody.